All right, we're on page 2 of the study guide. In 16 and 17, the directions carry over from the front. So we're going to translate this geometric statement into an English sentence using precise vocabulary. So in number 16, the measure of angle LJK. So when I see that little m, we're talking an angular measure, equals 50 degrees. So that's literally what we would write. The measure of angle, and write LJK in quotation marks. You could say equals, or you could say is. I say equals 50 degrees. You could also spell out the word 50, but I'm okay with numeric. Number 17, we have a segment, a congruent symbol, and another segment. So this reads segment NO is congruent to segment PQ. All right, questions 18 through 20. These are true or false questions. We are looking at the diagram. So in question 18, we're asked if it's true or false that line CD is parallel to line EF. So I have to look for evidence on the diagram. I can't just use my eyes to say, hey, they look like they're parallel. But on the diagram, I see those two arrows that mean that those two lines are parallel. So my answer for that is true. That is a true statement. In number 19, let's see, angle DCE is congruent to angle HCG. So if I look for DCE, I see point D to C, follow that all the way over to E, that's the angle. HCG is from H to C to G. And if I look, those two angles have that same congruent symbol. So again, the answer is true. All right, in number 20, we are asked to decide if it's true that line VW is perpendicular to line UX. So do they intersect at a right angle? And this one might be tricky. If you look on the diagram, there's no evidence of this. If they do intersect at a right angle, there should be that box that shows us it's a right angle. But if we don't see that, we cannot assume it's a right angle. So we're going to say false. All right, let's see, number 21. We're now moving into segment and angle addition. So in number 21, calculate the length of segment IK, show all work. So we're trying to figure out how long this is from here to here. And I might have to problem solve this a little. We know the entire segment's 49 units. From point J to L is 31. And from J to K is 12. So it might be helpful to figure out how long K to L is before we get to our answer. So if I do 31 minus 12, that's what, 11 minus 2, that's going to be a 9. 2 minus 1 is 1, 19. So that segment from K to L should be 19. If I added those back together, 19 plus 12, I should get 31. Then to find from I to J, well, now we know that from J all the way over to L, all right, oh, sorry, from I to K. So I was like, wait a minute, we could have done that. Sorry. We know that from K all the way over to L is 19 units. We know the entire segment's 49. We just need all this other stuff over here. So I could take my 49 and subtract 19. 49 minus 19 is, 30? So IK equals 30. The length of segment IK equals 30 units. All right, moving over to 22. We gotta sketch a diagram for this one. So points A, B, and C are collinear. Point B is between A and C. Remember, collinear means on the same line. So I'm just gonna draw a line and put A and C on the line, and then it says B is in between them. I don't know where B is, but that doesn't matter. All right, next we're told that the length of segment AC is represented by 3x plus 3. So I'm going to label this 3x plus 3. The length of AB is -1 plus 2x. And then BC is 11. So I just have to go back to what I learned with angle addition and remember that we add the smaller parts to get the whole, or sorry, angle addition, segment addition, similar topics. We add the smaller parts to get the whole segment. So if I add the length of AB to the length of BC, I get the entire length of the segment AC. All right, so now I just substitute in this algebra. So -1 plus 2x, which was the length of AB, plus 11, the length of BC, equals 3x plus 3, the length of AC. And the rest of this is just algebra. So I would probably combine my -1 and 11, and I'd probably rewrite this as 2x plus 10 equals 3x plus 3. Subtract 2x from both sides. So 10 equals x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. 7 equals x. There we go. All right, 23 through 25. In these questions, we are just using our eyes to classify these as acute, right, or obtuse. When this one should be pretty obvious, 90 degrees is a right angle. If an angle looks acute, we can assume that it's acute. And then if an angle looks obtuse, like in number 25, we can assume that it's obtuse. I will probably never ask you for this reflex angle. So if you see this, go with obtuse. We can never assume an angle is right. So when we get that right angle, you've got to either know that it's 90 degrees or see that square that tells us. All right, 26, then we'll be done with this page. In question 26, we are asked to name all of the angles that have V as a vertex. So I'm challenging you here to name them also as many different ways. We cannot name any of them angle V since there are multiple angles. So the first one that stands out to me is this angle that if I trace it is JVI. So I'm gonna say JVI. That's the same as angle IVJ. So we could name them twice, but it's also the same as angle 5. I'm gonna put them both there. We will sometimes number our angles. Let's see, then we have IVH. So IVH, we could also name that angle 6. And then lastly, the larger angle, we have angle JVH. Okay, so there are only 3 angles there. There are multiple ways to name them though. All right, move on to the next video for the next page.